Hey guys, I'm Michael Lown for TravelCostaRicaNow.com. Man, I was never so bummed, never so sad for a long time than I was when I accidentally deleted a video I had made about my drunk life from drunk to not. I put a lot of work into it, organizing it, thinking about it, reliving the moments, all of it, and I accidentally deleted it. But a couple days after it happened, I started realizing that maybe this was the universe telling me that that video wasn't all it could have been, you know, or all it could be. Maybe it was a little too polished, too organized, too thought out. Maybe it needs to be a little bit more raw, you know, and from the heart. Not that that wasn't from the heart, but just a little bit more off the top of my head instead of this, kind of how I did it. So I have to redo the video. I had to redo it. There's no way. I was compelled to do it the first time. I feel if it can help anybody, one person, you know, it did its due course. It means this video means more to me than any video I've ever done, you know, because I know how my life was. So obviously I have to redo it, but it's actually not that video that you probably, or might have you already saw. Okay, so anyway, let's get started. This is my drunk life, living as a drunk to not. All right, guys, if I can do it, you can do it. I hate that phrase, and I hated that phrase. Oh, if I can do it, you can do it. You don't know me. You don't know my turmoils. You don't know my issues. You know my problems. I probably drank a million times more than you. I was always questioning you, the person saying that. What, did you drink a bottle of wine one night and vomit in your shoe? And oh my God, you were so drunk and you have a big problem and you went to rehab. I never believed you. I'm sorry. I mean, that's my fault. That's in my head. I'm not saying you weren't a drunk, but in my head I was like, you couldn't possibly know me, so you can't say if I can do it, you can do it. That's like a billionaire saying if I can do it, you can do it. All right, whatever. So that was my thought on it. So anyway, but if I can do it, you can do it, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. Alright, so my story is this. You know, I've been drinking, seriously drinking from since I was at least 15, 16 to last year. 57, maybe that's like 42, 43 years, I don't know. A lot of years. Alright, and I'm an extrovert, man. I didn't need to drink. I didn't need to become uninhibited. I just became more uninhibited. I was doing stuff way past what, you know, most people would do. I love drinking, man. It was fun. I got great stories, fun stories. Even some of my supposedly bad stories are great stories. I love drinking, man. Socializing, doing crazy stuff. You know, I liked it. And I'm not going to say, I mean, you don't do drugs because they suck. You know, people think, well, why do you do that drug? You know, it's, well, yeah, eventually, but, you know, in the meantime, it's kind of freaking fun. And, you know, I might have taken it to the upteenth level, but I like drinking. You know, so, but, and the other problem with me was always, after a certain amount of time, I always worked out. I always ate right, and I always worked. I'm not saying I wasn't walking around a cloud doing those things, but I always did those things. That's kind of unheard of for most people that drank as much as I did. You know, so that's the only thing that you may not be able to associate with. People would look at me. I had a pretty decent body. You know, I was, you know, still driven to work, and I always had a good. Even when I was totally messed up, I'd be like, I gotta have a protein drink, man, because I've been drinking too much. You know, so I always had that kind of going for me. And then in the last 20 years or so, I rarely, almost never got hangovers. I could be passed the fuck out at 2 in the morning, laying in blood and broken glass, and be in the gym at 7 in the morning. I'm just going to assume that's not most people. So anyway, but I think I need to, if I'm going to say, if I can do it, you can do it, I need to give you street cred. I need to tell you my street cred. I'm not going to tell you individual stories per se, but I'm going to tell you that you can probably relate to most of these things. Okay, this is drunk stuff, not just normal living life stuff, although it can happen there too. This was directly related to drinking. Infidelity, too much to even talk about. I can't tell you how many good relationships almost solely from drinking. You know, good relationships, people that didn't deserve what I was doing. Promiscuity, Some of it I can't remember. How sad is that? I mean, bad decisions after bad decisions. I got the police stories. I've been in jail 6 times. All right? I got those. Who puts a freaking wire hanger on a stove and makes it beat red and then does that to their arm? Freaking stupid. I do like this thing though now because it reminds me of how stupid I actually was. I also used to do the cutting thing way back in the day. Whole psychology behind that, but I did that many years ago. Haven't done that for years, whatever. But so I got that. I got the cuts. I've got the fall downs. I've got the waking up and going, what the hell's that big mark over my eye that needed stitches, but I never got them. I've been passed out in the middle of town on a sidewalk. Drunks do that. Those are bum drunks that do that. I've done all that. I've done that. Probably one of my saddest messed up stories was I've been helped a lot of times when I've been passed out, you know, from random people that have helped me home. One time it didn't work out so well. I actually got raped by the taxi driver. And the reason I'm kind of saying it like this and not, I don't know, crying or something is because I'm the kind of guy, I have to take responsibility for that. That would have never, ever happened if I hadn't been drinking, blacked out, passed out, drunk. Wouldn't have happened. It did happen. And that's it. So you would think that would be enough, right? You think that would be enough to stop? But no. So I've lost all the phones. And then those are the things I remember or were reminded of. That doesn't even touch the millions of things I've done blacked out where I don't remember. And if you guys know anything about blackouts, which I'm sure you do, that's before passing out. You can do a lot of stuff, blackouts, that you have in blackout form when you don't even know what you're doing them. And I've been reminded, and it's freaking terrible, man. You don't even, I'm sure you know what guilt and shame is, but that's freaking guilt and shame. Okay, so I've done all those things. So that's my street cred to you. You know, I was drinking before the night of drinking, so I would get primed with 6 beers, go out and drink with my friends, and that's another 6 to 10 beers easily. And so let's say they got an early morning, they want to go home, I'm hitting the liquor store. So now this is where the shit hits the fan for me. So now I'm 20 beers in going home, or 16, and I buy more stuff. All right, so that's kind of how I was doing it. So, but I want to particularly talk about the last 10 years, and they've all been here in Costa Rica. So I can't tell you, okay, through all my life, you know, but, and even here too, so I can't tell you how many times I've reset, I've stopped, I've made compromises, I've made promises, you know, the starting overs. You know, that's what happens. You have so much guilt and shame the next morning. The people that love you are so worried about you. You almost feel like you gotta go to rehab, man. You got to stop. You gotta do things. And you know, and then I'll remember all those compromises all along the way throughout the years. Oh, I won't drink before 5. Oh, I'll only drink 5 beers. When I have 5 beers, I'll be done. Oh, I won't drink scotch. I won't do this. I won't do that. I won't drink, you know, I won't drink shots anymore. Man, I've done all those a million times. I mean, I've been Ben Affleck a million times. I totally can relate to what he's doing. You go right back to reset, hoping that it's all going to work out. Well, really, there are compromises in the whole thing. But what happened with me the last years or so, so I'm living my life like this. By day, I am working. You know, I'm doing things, but my nights were full of despair, of sadness, of crying, of frustration, of self-esteem, you know, in the gutter. You know, that sick and tired of being sick and tired? I was living there. I wasn't even that, I wasn't even sick and tired enough to get out of the sick and tired. I was living in the black. I was past the darkness. I was living in the black. All right, so now where I'm going with this is suicide. Every day for 10 years, and mostly in the last 7, I had it planned out. It's the reason I'm a minimalist now is because I gave everything away through the years. Seriously, I had a plan. I had a plan where my money was going to go. I had a plan. My first plan was going up in the jungle, bottle of Jack, some bug spray, and it was going to go that way. But then the last year or so, it was drilling in my beam a hole with a rope, and still I had everything planned out. And if you know anything about suicide, it's almost like people don't believe you unless you do it. You know, I know they're trying to make steps and people are trying, but you know, it does kind of sound like you're, you know, I don't know, that you're just, oh, look at attention to me. I'm not really going to do it, but I want attention. Well, whatever. It wasn't for me. I can tell you that. I was so every day, that was my thought. In the daytime, a little bit. And then at night, it just manifested. So if I was really drunk at that one stage of drunkenness, of despair, it was just a total alcoholic depression of suicide. But suicide would do it every day whether I was drinking or not. It's just the night manifested it more. So, and then I would wake up and start my day over. So days, the nights, terrible. So, what happened? So, this is my life. I'm living this fucked up life of living in black, just teetering right by hell, and the reset button, just back and forth. So what I do, I mean, this was my thought. One of my favorite quotes ever: get busy living or get busy dying. There was no middle anymore. I couldn't live like this. I'm either going one way or I'm going the other way. That was it. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about that. That's where the noose came in. That was my decision. It was going to be that, or I'm going to do this. Well, here's what happened. Almost 1 year ago, November 25th or so, I think, last year, we all went to a rave. You know that? A rave in La Fortuna? It was weird. We took ecstasy. We drank. We had a great freaking time. Partied all night. Got home in the morning. Nothing happened. Nothing. I mean, just fun. Total fun the whole time. Unconsciously, I'm not sure. I just stopped. I stopped. The next day, I stopped drinking. I'm not sure why, but I shut up about it because people had heard me say that story numerous times. So I pretty much shut up and I just dug in. I just quit drinking. I would, at first, I would actually fill my beers with water, or the empty cans with water, because I didn't want to make people feel tense, or I didn't want. I quit advertising, so I just stopped, and I accepted every feeling and emotion and feelings of low self-esteem and despair that it brought on me. And I accepted them all and took them in. And it sucked. Because now I wasn't drinking. This was hitting me. Now I got to think about this stuff. And I let it happen. I am not an AA person. God bless you if that's your realm. I'm not into that personally. I was in total personal response. And again, your path is your path. I'm not telling you to do one or the other. And it doesn't even matter if you have to think I'm fighting a disease of alcoholism, like you versus them. Fine. That's not me. I had to take complete responsibility for my life, and I dug in. But again, AA is the way you need to go, or you need people around you. I did it the opposite. I made myself even more like alone. So that's what I did. And now it's been almost 11 months. I don't feel like drinking. I'm around it all the time. Doesn't bother me in the least. I have people over here all the time. I buy them beers. Doesn't do anything with me. And no, I don't smoke pot to supplement. I didn't go from one thing to the other. Drinking's done. So now what's happened, And here's the thing. I did not realize the fog I had been living in for all those years until you're out of the freaking fog. Yeah, I was going around, I was going through life, but man, now my creativity is back with, my mind is firing all the time. I'm the happy thing, that's kind of whatever. I'm not sad though. That whole suicidal depression thing, or these thoughts, they have creeped in, I must say, but not even close. Let's say once every 2 weeks. Versus 24/7 that it was before for 7 to 10 years. So, not so happy, but yeah, man, but I am better. I feel better. Not sure if I look better. I'm old now, so I don't know if that really matters. But I'm not second guessing myself. That whole stressful thing of when you're drinking. The next morning, oh my God, how many times have you woken up from drinking and go, oh, what the fuck did I do last night? I don't got to do that anymore, man. And I did that all the time. That was so stressful. What did I do? Who did I hurt? What did I do? Oh my God, what stupid decision did I make last night? So that doesn't happen anymore, and it's great. So the guilt and shame is still around, I got to say, because I've kind of fucked up a lot of things along the way. And when they say, oh, I have no regrets in my life because it made me who I am. Well, I fucking do. I hurt people. And I regret that. And I don't care if it made me what I am. It's bullshit. And if I could take them back, I would. So I still definitely have some guilt and shame working on and that kind of thing. So that's still maybe a work in progress. And hopefully that'll kind of dissipate as time goes on, or apologies, or whatever I need, whatever I need to do personally. Now, that's all I can tell you, man. If I can do it, you can do it. It's true. If you think this could help somebody, share the video, man. I've never wanted a video to be shared more. And I'm telling you right now, like I said in my last video, I will put my personal email down in the description. You can write me anytime. The first time I put the book, I understand a lot of you are going to write me when you're fucked up. That's kind of how it goes, because I did that shit. I'd be so depressed. I'd be randomly texting people almost, on Facebook and all kinds of things. So I get it. But if you want to vent, you want to talk while you're drunk, whatever you want to do, I'll put my personal email down in the description. You can get a hold of me anytime, and I will answer you. Just real couple little things. I hate the word sober. I just want to let you know that. I hate that. I hate the people that wear that around their neck like a Gucci bag. You're either drinking or you're not drinking. Oh, I haven't drank I've been sober for 25 years. So no. I haven't eaten asparagus for 25 years. Who cares? So, it's like, whatever. You're either drinking or you're not drinking. And if you fuck up, just go back the next day and do it again. It doesn't really matter, does it? You're on your path. You're not starting over at your path. Do it. You can do it. I promise you. It really, really, as cliche as it really does get better. I'm Michael Allen, travelcoastarica.com. Peace, guys. Write me.